Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're talking about reasons why you'll hate living in Colorado Springs. We're going to go over 9 brutal truths about living in the Springs. So you're thinking about moving to Colorado Springs and you might want to think twice. Like, seriously. Today we're going to talk about some of the biggest problems that people complain about when they relocate here. And it's not just my opinion. We've looked at Facebook groups. We've looked at Reddit. We've had personal experiences and conversations with people that have actually made this move. These are the real deal issues that trip people up when they land in Colorado Springs. Let's dive in. So number one, we've talked about this before, and it is the weather roller coaster. And yes, the idea of 300 days of sunshine, it's freaking awesome, right? But here's the brutal truth. The weather here is super unpredictable, and it can be extreme. So we're talking snowstorms in May. That happens on a very regular basis. We don't plant anything in this state until after Mother's Day. 70-degree afternoons can be followed by 20-degree nights. There's a huge temperature swing, especially in the fall. And so then you have hailstorms, and you've got, hailstorms are awful, right? So hailstorms, damage to your house, damage to your roof, damage to your car. The insurance companies don't like it all that much, but hail is a very real thing here on an annual basis. And worse yet, wind. Yeah, that's right. You left your trash can out? Well, bad news. Now it belongs to somebody in freaking Kansas. The wind gets crazy here in Colorado, and it turns on a dime. So hey, as always, everybody, I am Mark with My Front Range Living, and we are a group of full-time real estate agents here in Colorado Springs. And yeah, we know a thing or two about Colorado Springs because we've been here for a hot second. We're talking decades. So we know a little bit about what we're talking about, but let's get back to the list. Number 2, the altitude. The altitude is super, it's something, yeah, it'll wreck you. It's a thing. I mean, the altitude, it doesn't sound like much, but it can be. Colorado Springs sits at over 6,000 square feet and higher in some places here in town. That means thinner air, less oxygen, and headaches until you get used to it. Or if you're not used to it, you've just got a headache. So you're going to get winded just going upstairs. Workouts feel like you're training at Everest. And I'll give you an example. Like, people come to this state specifically to train for events because of that altitude and trying to adjust their bodies. The altitude's legit. On top of that, dehydration. We've talked about it before. Your skin, just drinking plenty of water. So make sure you have plenty of lotion. Make sure you drink plenty of water because when locals tell you that the altitude is a thing, we're not kidding. Number 3, and I know that this sounds weird coming from a real estate agent, but the reality of it is housing costs, no joke. The cost of housing here in Colorado Springs is freaking ridiculous. And a lot of people move here, oh, it'll be cheaper than it is in Denver. Well, I think that used to be true, but more and more we're just seeing the Springs get more and more expensive and kind of keeping pace with Denver. Housing prices have gone through the freaking ceiling, and property taxes, while we're certainly not Texas by any stretch of the imagination when it comes to property taxes, it still stings. And when you add insurance on top of that, whether you be in a fire zone, yada, 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 it's just not cheap. And you couple that with the fact that rent's not exactly cheap either. It's just housing in general is expensive in Colorado Springs. The affordability gap between wages and housing is very, very real. Next up, number 4, traffic and construction. Let's talk about construction. I freaking hate road construction, and we are in orange cone season. So for a city that feels mid-sized the way that Colorado Springs does, traffic is tough. And that's because, again, you've heard me complain about our infrastructure before. I-25 is really the only main artery that we have through town running north and south. And that freaking interstate is always under construction somewhere along the way, which means an accident or anything can shut down the interstate or back it up for hours. And it's just a train wreck. We don't have great infrastructure here in Colorado Springs, and more on that in a little bit. But just when you think that this particular stretch is finished, oh great, they're done, and now we'll open it back up. Yeah, then another army of orange cones pops up, or there's something somewhere. Traffic and construction is awful here. So number 5, wildlife isn't always cute. Unless you ask my wife, who actually wants a bear, which just no, there's too much going on. We have 2 dogs, that's enough. So seeing deer in your backyard is really cute, right? It's Bambi and it's wonderful until they're eating your freaking landscaping, and then it's a problem. They're a nuisance sometimes. Bears will knock over trash cans, especially this time of year as they get ready to kind of settle down and hibernate for the year. Mountain lions, they wander in the neighborhoods here, especially along the Front Range and the west side. We can talk about rattlesnakes on your favorite hiking trails. That's kind of a thing, right? So Colorado's wild, and that's awesome. We love the wildlife here, but sometimes nature gets a little bit too close for comfort. So just be on the lookout about the areas of town that you're in, and hopefully you're okay with a bear and a mountain lion popping up. I know my wife is. Number 6, kind of tying into that whole climate thing, it's very dry here. Colorado Springs will dry out your life. So cracked lips, skin peeling, nosebleeds. It just is what it is around here. We have it. It's dry. It's a thing. That dry mountain air feels awesome right up until you need a gallon of lotion or you need a humidifier in every room or you cannot drink enough water. So on top of all that, wildfire risk is very, very real here. So when it gets drier, obviously wildfire risk goes up. One dry summer and suddenly, smoke season is very, very real because it's so freaking dry. Everything catches on fire. Number 7, the job market. Let's talk about the job market. It's not for everyone and it can be kind of limited. Yeah, we've got military bases, we've got healthcare, we've got a little bit of tech out there. But if you're not in the military or those other two like healthcare and tech, there's not much else out there. It can be super limited compared to some of the other bigger cities. A lot of folks move here for the lifestyle. Yeah, you can work remote and that's great. And then you realize, I might have a longer commute to Denver, or you're underemployed compared to what you could be just because we're a little bit limited when it comes to the job market. I mean, again, military, it's there for everybody. And we have a lot of returning military. After they retire, they have a tendency to come back to Colorado Springs because there are so many jobs. But if you're not in one of those 3 industries, military, healthcare, or tech, this may not be the spot for you. Number 8, and this is a big one because if you look at the stats since the early 90s, the population growth in Colorado Springs has been out of control. So the growth pains are real. We've been one of the fastest growing cities in the country for years, and that's slowed down in the last few years as, again, those housing prices have climbed a little bit. But that means more people, more traffic, again, that higher housing demand, and then that makes an issue with the housing costs. There's schools bursting at the seams. We're trying to build as many as we possibly can to keep up with the growth pace that we've been at for like decades on end. So we will complain often as locals at the city's infrastructure, myself included. It's just horrible. The infrastructure just simply has not kept up with the growth. And when you have a mountain range on your west side that really prohibits any sort of growth or building or anything like that, options are limited to get the infrastructure back up to where it needs to be to sustain the population growth that we've had. The infrastructure is just not great here in the Springs. And last but not least, picking the wrong neighborhood hurts. And what I mean by that is, and this is a big one, right? The Springs is super diverse wherever you go. So when it comes to neighborhoods, you got to keep an eye on it. Each area has its own vibe. And with some people like the suburban feel of Briargate. Others want historic charm of the Old North End, or maybe you need access, really quick access to the mountains because that's the lifestyle and the vibe that you want. So you're in Manitou, you're in Old Colorado City, you're on that west side somewhere. So all of these different neighborhoods in Colorado Springs have something different to offer, and you have to know what it is you're looking for, because if you pick wrong, you might find yourself packing up sooner for another move again faster than you wanted to. So just beware. Picking the wrong neighborhood hurts, and that's why it's important to reach out to us. You can find our contact information in the description of the video below. myfrontrangeliving.com is the website that you can go to. We also have a relocation guide down there, so if you are thinking about making a move to Colorado Springs, we'd love to help you out because, again, picking that neighborhood makes a difference. So here's the deal. All of these things that I just listed, those 9 things, they're not great, but there's so many great parts about Colorado Springs. We totally think it's worth it. We love the Colorado Springs area. We've decided to make it home for the future. And so, there's bad things, just like any other city, but there's some amazing things in Colorado Springs too. So we help you figure out what the right neighborhood is and the lifestyle. And that way you don't end up regretting your move. So if you're serious about relocating here, let's set up a one-to-one call. Again, contact information in the description below, as well as that relocation guide. We'll figure out how to actually help you make Colorado Springs feel like home. Hey, as always, thanks so much for stopping by. We look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.